Thank
Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump now back on the attack, going after anyone who comes close to him in the polls.
Rubio's going down next. And I have to tell you something, folks. We need tough, great people with tremendous energies. We have to bring back our jobs. We have to bring back our country. We have to take our jobs back from China, Japan, Mexico, all these places that have them. And Ben Carson is not equipped to do that. That I can tell you. He is not equipped to do it.
Joining me now, syndicated radio talk show host Chris Plante and Leslie Marshall. Okay, so Chris, we have Donald Trump going back on the attack now against Carson and Rubio, and maybe that's because in the latest Quinnipiac poll, Donald Trump is on top at 24%, but Carson nipping at his heels at 23%, and now Rubio jumping up a lot for where he was before to 14%, Cruz at 13%. So now Trump says Rubio's going to go down next. Yeah. What's going to happen with that?
Well, it's interesting your phrasing, Trump went back on the attack. I think he's been constantly and perpetually on the attack. His target may change from time to time and from poll to poll, but he's a very, very aggressive candidate who goes after everything that he perceives as a threat to his dominance in this process. And I think we're just going to see that from now until Donald Trump leaves the White House after 8 years or leaves the race after 8 weeks or whenever it is he exits politics. This is Donald Trump's MO. It's what he's going to keep doing.
Okay, Leslie, is it effective?
I think it's effective more so with his base outside of the debates. And I think what we see here, and Chris, oh God, I agree with you, but when you said 8 years in office, that scared me. So when we look at Donald Trump in the polls, in the debates, he doesn't do very well. He's not very strong. And when you look at the last debate, quite frankly, Marco Rubio brought it. He was the Babe Ruth, I think, of that night, hit it out of the park. Yeah. And then when Donald Trump feels threatened, he goes back out there with the podium and the microphone where he doesn't have any competition. It's not formatted. He controls it. And he says to his base, this one's coming down because this is what they like.
Interestingly enough, though, Donald Trump does end up winning those debates, at least in a lot of pundits' minds. Okay, I want to move on to this. Results of some key elections yesterday speaking volumes today. San Francisco sheriff who sparked the national debate on immigration reform with the death of Kate Steinle, gone. Houston's transgender bathroom law, out in a landslide. Ohio saying no to pot. So, Chris, what do these results say about the mood of the country?
Well, I mean, look, if you left San Francisco out of it, the results might look a little bit different, but it certainly creates the perception that the great pendulum of American political reality is swinging back to the right or to the center. The mayor in San Francisco, I mean, that really is the outlier there. But the first Republican governor elected in Kentucky in 28 years, the second in 48 years, it's huge. The rural vote in Kentucky, which has been going Democrat for decades now, going with the Republican, the lieutenant governor, also a conservative Tea Party
Let me get Leslie in here, too,
woman.
to have comment on it. Leslie, is he right?
Sure.
I don't agree that we look at these three examples as an example of the country. I've lived in Houston, and even though it can be more liberal than a Dallas, it's not an Austin by any means in Texas. A very red state. I'm not surprised the vote went that way. But in San Francisco, there are liberals like Hillary Clinton, for example, and many liberals on the left, myself included, Democrats who felt that the responsibility was with the sheriff and the sheriff's department if they were negligent not informing the federal authorities as to the release of this man.
I got to wrap it up there. Lots going on today. Chris, Leslie, thank you.